You know what something that I've been thinking about? Time. Like how time keeps on moving forward and stuff just keep on continuing. I kind of reached that point where you just think about stuff that you used to do, like you listen to old music you used to listen to, or watch old TV shows that you remember watching, and like rewatching them. Time is usually something that I don't really like talking about because I don't think it's really good to always live in the past. We have probably all met one of those person who only talks about how stuff used to be back in the day, and how they used to do this and that whole thing over and over again, and it gets really annoying. And I think it's very unhealthy to like always hyper focus on what you used to do back then. Just like how it's really bad to always hyper focus about the future and be worried about what's next. We need a perfect medium. But I'll be 100% lying to you if I say that sometimes I don't think about stuff that I used to do back then. And you know, sometimes it can get kind of scary as something that you remember perfectly from the back of your head can be like years from now. And I think one thing that easily will send someone like back in time and make them remember about something that they used to do is really music. Now, playing a video game that you used to play, like one thing that I talk about a lot on this channel is how much I like playing a game like Destiny 2. Now, I have been playing Destiny all the way since the beginning. I've been there literally since the beginning of the game, since Destiny 1, around late 2014 to basically 2015, and basically moving forward, I've been playing the game, which is just extremely crazy for me to think. One thing that and I think a lot of people around my age used to think was, man, I really wish I was around to see like the birth of a brand new franchise. Because usually when you talk about stuff like Halo and stuff like Call of Duty, they're already like developed franchise, stuff that some people grow up with, and you kind of wish that you were there to like grow up with a franchise. But I think one thing that most of us don't realize is that we are growing up with these franchises. I know it's hard not to realize that because again, we watch YouTube videos of like people who talk about the games they grew up with, but we are currently growing up with things that a lot of people are going to remember in the future. Like a good example is Destiny. Destiny came around like 2015. The franchise is almost 10 years old, which is absolutely crazy for just some people to think about. But even if I go back and play Destiny 1, I still don't really get like the feeling that I used to get back then. Because obviously I just think, oh, I'm just playing a game that I just used to play back then. But I think one thing that will always guarantee send you back and make you just feel something is always music. It's something about music, but listening to a song that you remember listening to always hits completely different. And it doesn't matter if the song is even good. One thing that I used to listen to a lot was anime openings. Because back then, basically all the music I was listening to was just anime openings and anime endings. So there are a couple anime openings and anime endings that really hit dearly to me. It's not because these anime openings are even good or necessarily something amazing, but I can just remember listening to these and just watching the shows so easily, and then you kind of get that moment when you think about how long ago the show came out. Now I'm just going to show you a couple examples, and one of them is easily being Blend S. Now Blend S is an absolutely amazing anime, which ended up coming out around 2017, which I know to some people here in the year 2017, you're like, that's not long ago, but again, that's a pretty long time from now. 2017 was a completely different time on the internet, but the main reason why I remember Blend S was the opening, because back then, during that time, that was a ginormous meme in the anime community of people making a bunch of jokes and a bunch of edits of the opening. So this is one song that every time I listen to, I always remember about that time when I listened to the opening, about people making memes about the opening, about people joking about it, because I was someone who saw the opening memes and even watched Blend S. It's just something that I can always remember, especially when I go back and watch that anime, which is something that I don't do. I'm not one person who will go back and rewatch something. I have the mindset where if I go watch something, I watched it, and I don't really need to go and see it again, even if it's something I super duper enjoy. For a good example is like JoJo. I like a lot of the JoJo parts, especially part 5 being my favorite part, but I never really went back to watch part 5. I ended up watching it once around when it was launching and just never really gone back to go see it because I already, seen it. But Blend S is something that completely breaks that rules with me. And it's not that it's necessarily something good. This anime isn't doing anything groundbreaking at all. You're not going to watch this and your mind is just going to be completely changed. Like, it's not going to be this absolutely crazy experience. It's just because the whole era of people joking about it just leaves it very special to me. And I think that's one that a lot of people can relate to, especially people who's been watching the anime YouTube around that time when it was like very, very early and it kind of still in its infancy, where it's not where we are now, where we have a lot of anime YouTubers. It was still pretty selective and anime wasn't really that mainstream as it was back then. 2017 was still pretty tough being an anime fan. And another anime that also makes me remember this too, not because it became a meme, because it's something I do remember watching, is an anime known as New Game. Another anime that I rewatched once, and again, just like Blend S, it's not this absolutely groundbreaking anime. This is an anime you're going to see, and it's going to completely change the way you see life. This is something that came out 2016, before Blend S. This is something I do remember watching, checking it out weekly, and seeing what's airing next, being excited for the next episode of it, which is just crazy crazy to me because in 2016, that was the time when Destiny 1 was still around and Rise of Iron came out. And again, 2016 was just a completely different time than what it is. When I listen to those openings, I kind of just go and think about those times. Now, this is one thing that is extremely weird to me, and it's something that I can't really like fight back against, because sometimes I'll like just to sit down and enjoy the opening, but I usually can't because if those plays, I instantly get like this weird feeling, and it just makes me start just thinking about those times and just thinking about things that I used to do. And it's just something extremely interesting. It's something that I want to talk about. I know this video seems like extremely like weird and I can't really describe the feeling that much, but I think it's something that a lot of people can probably relate to because it's probably something that has happened to a lot of people. A lot of people probably have a video game, probably have some music, and it doesn't matter if this music is good, you instantly listening to that music will instantly teleport you back to that time. Another one for me is something like Nekopara, something that I absolutely can't stand anymore. Like I literally don't know how I used to be able to enjoy that, but I see like some of the Nekopara characters, especially in their old design, and when I hear the openings and endings of the game, it just makes me think about when I actually used to watch YouTube videos of that game way back in the day. But this is something I want to talk about, something that I wanted to share. I'm very interested. Do you have any like movie, anime, game that just instantly, just gets you thinking, it instantly makes you feel nostalgic? Let me hear some in the comments below. Anyway, this is something that I want to talk about. My name is Lua. You have a good day or night. See ya.